Hello guys, welcome to a new video, and today we are going to continue with the build. It's after solder. As you can see, the car basically didn't move since solder. So it passed the test. So what we're going to do now is get it ready for the ring. And there are some small issues, I would say, we need to fix. So the main thing is that the steering rack is leaking. So the new yellow tag rack is leaking, which is a bummer, but I'm not gonna bother, I don't know, rebuilding it or stuff like that. I'm just gonna put the old rack in, and then we have a rack that's not leaking and should be all good. There is a small oil leak from the engine, which I just saw it when I looked under it, but I didn't really look into it where it's coming from. So maybe I'm gonna figure that out today, but it's not a major leak, it's just a couple of drops, so I'm not gonna bother. So for the couple of drops, I'm not gonna bother doing anything now. I don't bother. I'm gonna do that later. And then of course there are some interior mods or things we need to do. For example, there is no passenger seat, there is no passenger floor plate. This is all still in loosely. There are still a lot of cables running through there. And one thing we need to fix is the ABS. So the ABS wasn't working on solder. So that's something we are going to try to figure out today. At least today we're going to do steering rack and ABS because that's the main issue. And then we'll see what we can do. Maybe I need to clean the carriage because it looks like a mess. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so now that the steering rack is in, of course it's not in yet, I need to align the wheels and what else? Oh, put fluid in. But we're gonna move on to the ABS issue, which we're gonna find. So I suspect, because the rear sensors are new, maybe it's a sensor in the front, or it's the cable itself, or it's a ground. So we're gonna check all the cables and see if we find an easy solution. So I found the ABS issue. It's basically this little thing where this connector goes in. You know, it's like a little black cylinder stuff. And when that's not connected, the whole ABS is not working. So that was the problem. I replaced the ABS sensor left front because I suspected that was the one that was broken, but it was that. Just plug it in and ABS was working right away. We're gonna continue with the interior. Yesterday I did some stuff off camera, which is mostly the center console stuff. But now we're going to move on to the floor plates. Our floor plate, the driver's side is in, but the passenger side still needs to get done. So I have here the plate. I already got it to fit around the cage, but this is some sort of extra bucket, and which is a bit of a pain to fit because it's lower than the actual wheel plate itself, or the floor plate. So I'm just going to cut it off. So we have a nice clean floor plate, and that's basically the plan. And that should fit nicely and easily, because this is, I think, for a fire extinguisher or something, but I think cutting it off is the best solution. So I sort of mocked it up into place, so now we can measure where we are going to drill the holes, put the rivet nuts in, and then we can put some grip tape on the plate itself and then just bolt it in for good. So let's get started on that. So I took the floor plate out again because we're going to put some grip tape on the plate itself, just to make it look a bit nicer, and otherwise it's gonna get fully scratched. This is already a bit scratched. It's gonna scratch anyway, but I don't know, this is maybe nice. Also, for your E36 guys wondering, there is the floor of the E36 is not flat. For the inside is flat, but once you go to the outside it runs down. And to fill up that gap, And support, I use these rubber things. I got them at the local hardware store there to stop the door. When you throw up the door, this stops it. So it's called a deurstopper in Dutch. So if you want to look it up, it's to stop the door. 50 mil. So yeah, let's put some grip tape on it. Quite some time since the last time I filmed. That's because we ran into some issues. Yeah, not issues, just issues. So I told you guys before that the power steering was leaking. I changed the yellow tag rack for the original one. That was also leaking, and that's because the rack wasn't leaking, but the rings that the hoses connect to and the hose to the power steering pump. So that should be fixed. I haven't checked yet if there's something underneath. Looks like there's no pink fluid, so that's good. Power steering isn't leaking. Of course, we have to drive it a bit more to really find out, but looks like it isn't leaking, so power steering issue is fixed. And then I found some oil drops on the floor, and then I saw them hanging at the transmission. So I suspected the worst, and that was the rear main seal, so at the crank. So I took off the gearbox, the clutch, and replaced that seal. So that was a big job. Put everything back. Don't see oil yet, so hopefully the issue is fixed, but of course we haven't pushed the motor to like higher pressures, so it could still leak, we don't know. Hopefully it's fixed with the seal, and otherwise it's probably the oil pan that's leaking. But yeah, so what is on the planning today is, I have it laying outside, because of course we need that. These are Apex Arc 8 9J. So these are the concave wheels, which look insane with the Toyo tires. But in the front they fit. I fit those. I put the camber plates on max to the inside, no spacer, and then it fits. Of course now the BBS is on, but the rear is the problem with these big wheels. So I never rolled my fenders, and my fender had so much rust that it got restored. I think like 3 years ago and repainted. So the lip is quite thick. So instead of rolling and risking rolling this lip over, or I don't know, just not having enough space, we're gonna cut it out. So the whole lip is gonna go, which Floody is gonna do. So Floody is the guy who also did the spare wheel bucket delete in the rear. So he's the only guy I trust with these kinds of stuff. So he's gonna do it, because I don't trust myself doing it properly, and he's way better at that stuff. So that's today's mission. We're gonna go to Vladi, we're gonna cut that out. Hopefully it goes all good and we can fit the wheels. Then we have nicer wheels. And then all there's left for the Nürburgring trip is passenger seat, door panels, and then small stuff like adjust the harness a bit because they're a bit too tight and stuff like that. And then we are ready to head on to the ring. So let's head over to Vladi. After letting someone cut in my fender, the result is there. So we're back home now. I put the full set on, and as you can see, basically perfect fitment. And the wheels just look mega. Of course we did nothing in the front, but just look at the front. Fantastic. But the rear is just, I don't know, from every angle the fitment is just insane. Here another angle. Especially when you see the car outside just sitting at this normal stance. The stance is just amazing, and there's basically nothing here. Just the whole lip is gone, and you see nothing basically from the outside that the lip is gone. But there's just so much room we created, and that's basically the whole goal from cutting them out. And I think cutting them out was the right choice instead of rolling the lip. I think with the lip rolled we still wouldn't have enough space, and of course this would be a lot thicker than the risk of just pulling this out, and that's what I didn't want. So the pain point is still this part, which is where the arch meets the bumper, and I think everyone with an E36 knows that this is the pain for the fitment. But yeah, we'll have to find out how much it rubs when we actually take it to the Nürburgring. So yeah, the car is basically ready to go, ready to ring it, and that's the major part in this build. If it survives the ring, it's basically the build is complete. It's that's the last thing on the checklist, and basically after the ring it's just this series is done, because the car is built, it served its purpose, and it's time to enjoy it. So thank you guys for watching the video. Next video is Nürburgring, so that's the video that ends this series. So thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys like the mods. Of course the fitment and the wheels is just, that's a big highlight. So thank you to Vladdy, he did an amazing job as always. So thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.